Hi everyone, I am Kat Valdivia, the Education Director here at Phoenix College. Today I wanted to shed some light into the state of education in Arizona. So the state of affairs, if you will, that we are in regarding teaching, as well as some information about those individuals at the federal, state, and local level that play a key role in making decisions that directly impact teaching and education. Now, we have been in teacher shortage crisis mode for quite some time, even before the pandemic hit. The pandemic certainly did not help. And because of it, we have had many teachers resign or retire, which obviously adds to the problem. According to AZ Ed News, recent data indicates that roughly 27% of teacher vacancies remain unfilled. So that means there are still positions out there that need to be filled. 47%, so a little under half of those vacancies were able to be filled by teachers who do not necessarily have the state standard teacher certification requirements. So these could be teachers that may have a degree in something, just not one in teaching. This is quite disheartening, especially as a parent of a child who is still in school. Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association, or ASPAA, provided a summary of findings from a survey that was conducted among 200 participating school districts and charter schools. This survey shows that 7,485 openings still needed to be filled at the beginning of the 2020-21 school year. Some positions were filled with certified teachers, but for many of those positions, schools had to get very creative and use alternative methods. We see here that long-term substitutes have been hired. Schools have had to use outside agencies to contract, let's say, special education teachers, for example. Administrators, so our principals and assistant principals, had to fill in and actually start teaching classes. We see that classified personnel, so that would be our teacher assistants or paraprofessionals, as we like to call them, had to take on some of the teaching duties in some fashion. As of December 2020, so just a few months ago, there were still almost 2,000 positions that remained vacant. There are many factors that play into why Arizona is in such a crisis. And there are some things we can't control, and there are some things that we can. One thing that we have a bit of control over is who we choose to have as our political influencers. So these are folks that have a direct hand in the decisions that are being made at the federal, state, and local levels of government. So some of my EDU students literally just completed an assignment where they had to research some of these individuals to learn more about their background. Do these people even come with a background in education? And also, what are their thoughts and ideas about teaching and education? What are some accomplishments since they have been in their current role? So I would now like to highlight some student work hot off the press to share what we have learned. I will first start off with Miguel Cardona. He is our new U.S. Secretary of Education. We learned that he does come with an actual background in education. He even has a master's in bilingual and bicultural education. So it makes sense that he is an advocate for English language learners. As you know, Arizona has a very high population of English language learners. So I am curious to see what he does to support this population. We have to wait and see. Our very own Governor Doug Ducey has made some decisions on how education can be funded. He will be known as the governor that signed Proposition 123, a proposition that generates money for our schools. This was voted in by the Arizona voters, obviously, but he seems to be like he's a supporter. Fun fact, he was the CEO for Cold Stone Creamery. We also learned that our very own Arizona Superintendent for Public Education, Kathy Hoffman, also has a background in education as well. She is a speech and language pathologist, so it makes sense that she is an advocate for special education. She has also been vocal about advocating for more counselors, getting them into our schools, as well as other social emotional learning supports for our students. Even more local, we have Steve Watson, our Maricopa County School Superintendent. Bet you didn't know we even had one of those. He taught career and technical education for Deer Valley Unified School District. So again, we have someone who has a background in teaching, and he is a product of the Maricopa Community College District. It says here he is a proponent of teacher voice and started a discussion group so that teachers could voice their concerns. We have a lot of work ahead of us if we're going to truly fix this teacher shortage problem. But what can you do, you ask? Become a teacher, or at least consider it, and take some of our education classes. We even have core classes that require field experience hours. We partner you up with a mentor teacher in our local K-12 schools so you can see firsthand how absolutely essential teachers are. I have been teaching for over 20 years, and it is truly my passion, and it could be yours too. To wrap up, I am going to leave you with some encouraging words from our very own Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction, Kathy Hoffman.
Hello, I'm Superintendent Kathy Hoffman, and welcome to Phoenix College's Bear-Appalooza. Today's event is part of Phoenix College's centennial celebrations and underscores its history and the value of Maricopa Community College District. For 100 years, students have advanced their education and careers at Phoenix College, including many of our educator workforce. Even long before the pandemic, Arizona educators demonstrated their ability to be innovative, adaptive, and caring professionals, which became even more apparent during periods of distance and hybrid learning. Enhancing Arizona's recruitment and retention of educators has been one of my top priorities as state superintendent. A career in education can be so rewarding, but I know that it comes with many challenges that we must be serious about addressing. That's why I created an educator recruitment and retention team at the Arizona Department of Education to identify solutions that positively impact our workforce and recruit more college students to be leaders in our classrooms. In response to COVID-19, the Arizona Department of Education used some of our CARES Act dollars to support educators through some of the challenges of teaching remotely. Through our partnership with ASU's Virtual Teacher Institute, over 7,000 educators from across the state received training to help them thrive in a digital teaching environment. I continue to advocate for professional support and resources that keep our teachers in the classrooms and recruit new professionals to the field. I want to again share my appreciation for Phoenix College's Education Department for being a part of that work. Thank you again for celebrating Phoenix College's centennial, and I hope to see you one day in our classrooms.